Me. I'm going to let everyone trickle into the Twitch stream chat, drop in and say hi when you're here. This is going to be a really fun episode, and I feel like I've seen you like recently, but it was actually so long ago. Even though I should have seen you more recently, but the conferences got canceled and everything. But it's nice to see you again, at least through video.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me. This is a big honor. I'm really excited to be on tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's kind of crazy. I mean, maybe just while we chat and wait for everyone to pop
Mhm.
in. It's kind of crazy. We first met through Bitcoin 2019
2019, yeah.
in San Fran. And I think it was, yeah, that was my first time I had ever been in San Francisco. Um, I didn't love San Francisco, but I loved the conference. So it made San Francisco better for me. But
Oh
that was a
yeah.
really fun conference. And you guys did such an amazing job. The design was so on point. And for those of you that don't know, Tommy, you do all of the design for those events and everything like that, right? With Bitcoin Magazine?
For that event, I did virtually all of it. I mean, as far as like the event itself, not like I don't know. There's definitely some aspects that I didn't do. There was a mural that one of our other designers did on the inside. I did the mural on the rooftop. But I mean, I can't take credit for designing Bitcoin's brand or anything like that. But that's basically what I had to do is just take Bitcoin's brand and be true to it. Uh, Not try to add too much subjectivity to it of my own. But I mean, the stage, I just took the Bitcoin logo, made it as big as they let me do it, and that was about it. So
No,
it
that was
wasn't
awesome.
hard to design. It was more just an honor to be able to do it.
But not only that, you also did all of the design for like the actual like graphic design for all the promo and like speaker stuff, the website. I mean, I saw your stuff everywhere, which is, I mean, I know personally because I was a graphic designer for crypto and blockchain companies before I started doing full time crypto art, and graphic design is like no joke. Like it's not an easy thing to do, especially with so many different um, like mediums and like so many different like dimensions that all of these like same things need to fit into, and it's not easy. So you did a really seamless, beautiful job.
Thanks. Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, that's like my day to day, even today, is the graphic design side. I love my job so much over here at Bitcoin Magazine because like I never know what stories we're gonna be covering, and like it's like day to day. It's like I don't know what I'm gonna have to make a thumbnail for or whatever. But it's like the conference stuff is like the more it's not like boring to do, but like
Yeah.
a little more cookie cutter. So you have to like find ways to make it a little more interesting. But yeah, doing the design for Bitcoin 2021 now, also Bitcoin Black Friday, which is coming
Oh.
up. Um, that's one of our newer initiatives.
And
I'll
can you
talk
talk a
about
little bit
later,
about that? Okay,
or
okay, cool.
we can talk
You,
about it now.
You can talk about it later too. Okay, cool. Yeah, you guys have a lot going on. I definitely want to talk about all that because you guys do streams as well, which are really cool. And my audience, if you haven't checked them out, you should, and we'll get into that. But I guess let's just take it just kind of from the beginning, where I always sort of start these, is how you initially just I was it through Bitcoin Magazine or how you initially got interested in Bitcoin, and then eventually what led you to start being really creative with Bitcoin and the whole idea behind it.
Well, so I'm definitely not like an OG in the sense that I got into Bitcoin early. I just celebrated 3 years at Bitcoin Magazine. So I guess I
That's
started
awesome.
in 2017, and I had discovered Bitcoin shortly before that, but I didn't get like all in until I started working here. Um, so probably like early 2017 is when I kind of fell down the Bitcoin rabbit hole, and I mean, it's just kind of given me a whole new like outlook and purpose on like doing art and design and stuff. It's like I'm actually doing it for something that I really believe in and like want to help to promote and all that. Like, so it doesn't, it never feels like work when I'm doing something that I feel like genuinely is like good for Bitcoin. And I feel
Yeah.
like at Bitcoin Magazine we do a lot, and we're just trying to do right by Bitcoin, really. So it's
Um,
amazing to work here, and yeah, it's dope.
that's awesome. Do you when you did you get into Bitcoin through this job?
It's weird. Like so I'll go back. So I was living in Chicago, working as a graphic designer. I was actually the
Oh,
art
no way.
director at a startup that ended up failing, which was like at the time I was like, oh shit, now I got to start over, find another design gig. And I
Where
had
were you
really
at in Chicago? Were you guys working at like a co-working space?
it was yeah, we had a co-working space in River North.
In like Merch Mart? I'm Chicago, so I'm always just so curious.
It was on West Erie.
Okay.
But it was a startup. We had a few apps and a few like tech projects that I did design for and branding for, and then that company went under basically, and I was just like freelancing, looking for work, and I decided to move to Nashville with a couple buddies who wanted to move down there too. So didn't have anything lined up when I moved to Nashville, but turns out that Bitcoin Magazine is headquartered here, and just kind of was throwing out resumes, and I already had Bitcoin at that point, but like I wasn't like all in on Bitcoin. I was just kind of trying to learn more about it, but I wasn't learning about it as fast until I got the job at Bitcoin Magazine, and then
Cool.
that was like all in from there.
Yeah, it's funny how that happens because I feel like that sort of mirrors and mimics a lot of different stories that I've heard and also my story. Like once you get that initial, it starts with this for me, a really small investment. But once I saw that investment like doing well, I was like, what is this? I need to work in this. And I just started doing research and it like consumed every part, like all of my conversations with my friends, like it just consumed everything and I was like, how could I not work in this? Like I'm so passionate about it. So it's kind of cool that it was sort of similar, like once you were there you were like all the way there.
Yeah, it's hard to un have that orange pill, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to undo that once you really believe in it and know what it can do for the world. And like I've always known, I guess, that I would do something with art, or like I didn't know exactly how I was going to make a living, but like now just knowing that I just want to make Bitcoin art, right? Or like work for a company that does Bitcoin things. Um, sorry that they're
Oh,
doing
no
some
worries.
kind of
You're at work right now. You're just
yeah. There's
constantly
there's like a
working.
hornet's nest or something. We're
uh,
trying to eradicate.
oh, that's a big issue. Okay,
They're
so
not they're not
I
Bitcoin hornets though.
then you definitely have to get rid of them. So one, I guess, big question for you. I wonder if it also matches my same story. Like, were you obviously you've always been creative because you've been doing design and you were an art director. But were you doing like full on your own art and
Might get tricky.
doing anything with like your individual art and promoting your work, like how you're doing now and you're selling through Super Rare? Were you doing any of that art before you started find basically before you had a reason to with Bitcoin? Did you do that in the past before?
That's a great question. I would do like commission. Sorry, I'm like trying to transition right now to the where I was supposed to be in the first place.
All
But
good.
so I would do like commissioned paintings and stuff. But I mean, I guess I was in college for design, so I did all my like college art stuff. And then after that, I was just, like, how can I make money as a designer? I would take all kinds of freelance gigs, and nothing that I'm like too proud of looking back at. But I definitely didn't sell much in the way of like art, or even, excuse me, even like t-shirts or anything like that. I honestly feel like I still haven't, and I definitely have a lot more that I need to put out there. But really, not until uh, in the quarantine age of 2020, March, whatever, like when we basically all went on furlough, and that's when I got on Super Rare and just kind of decided, like, hey, if I'm going to be doing art for Bitcoin Magazine and I'm making Bitcoin art, I might as well make like Bitcoin art that's like just for me, and then I can get it out through Bitcoin Magazine anyways. So I feel like the quarantine and the whole like furlough period, where we were still, I mean, I don't know if I'm even allowed to say this, we were still kind of working, but we were on furlough.
Mhm.
So it was like I had every
That's a tough
opportunity.
situation, yeah.
Yeah, I had to like make extra money, but I also had every opportunity to like make my own art and stuff. So getting on Super Rare, I definitely was late to the game, and I have no regrets. But if I could have got on Super Rare earlier, I probably should have done that. But
And your stuff on Super Rare is really cool, by the way. I linked it in my Discord for everyone who wants to check that out, and you can check it out while we're chatting here. Um, the I really love the style, and I kind of was like diving deep into some of your art when we were chatting. There was a piece that I saw that was for sale, and I was like, I kind of want that piece. And I placed a bid, and you accepted it, and I was really happy. But then we like we started chatting about some of your other pieces, and I feel like they're so you've put so much thought into the background of these pieces and sort of the story that you're like telling through each one, and some of them connect. And I think they're just really interesting and have so many different layers to them. I would love for you, if you want to, just talk about some of those pieces that you have up there. Obviously, you definitely do like political ones as well. But if you want to talk about like the buckets of like what kind of art you're creating and why, and like what the passion behind those different buckets are, I guess.
yeah, totally. Well, it's funny, the political ones, like I can't help but like be super like political, I guess. Like, or I don't know, I can't help but follow it because it's just so outrageous, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I get outraged on a daily basis, and sometimes I feel like it's deserving of a quick little political cartoon. And I try to spend like as little time as possible on them, because like fuck spending time drawing Donald Trump or anything like that. Like that's not like like I even like get mad at myself for doing it sometimes, but like sometimes I just have to do it. And I found that like people buy those ones more than they buy like shit that I spend like hours and hours and hours on. So it's like, as far as NFTs go, I've had people be like, "Oh, I wonder if Tommy's gonna make a thing about this," like when Nancy Pelosi says some dumb shit, and it's like the fact that people think of me and these cartoons is kind of hilarious to me. But I don't hate it or anything. Like, it gives me reason to keep putting them out if people are liking them. But as far as the like more Bitcoiny stuff, when I got into Super Rare, it was basically Coldy was having like a Crypto Voxels art show, and
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy how I got involved in it, because originally I would like he got me involved so that we could have it be completely Bitcoin 2020 sponsored, and I would just like get into Crypto Voxels and like deck it out with like Bitcoin 2020 stuff, and then obviously the COVID hit, and like we had to cancel the conference like right that week. But like I still wanted to participate in the gallery and stuff. I just like couldn't put any Bitcoin 2020 stuff on it, because I don't think we knew whether or not we were canceling at that point. But I just couldn't do it because of the situation. But it got me to the point where I applied on super rare finally. And obviously, like being at Bitcoin Magazine, you hear about all the stuff that happens in crypto and Bitcoin. So like I knew about super rare from the day it launched, but I never like thought to get on there and or like apply. And you know, that art show that Coley did was like, all right, I need to get on super rare. Like the stars are aligning. I got to jump in this NFT thing. I think a lot of it for me was like I didn't want to mess with this ETH like NFT stuff. I wanted the
Mm-hmm.
NFTs to be on Bitcoin, and like I still do. I still think like, I don't want to knock my own NFTs or anyone's NFTs, but I still think it's like highly experimental when it's on ETH because you don't know what the hell is going to happen with ETH. But um, yeah, that art show is when I did the first piece that actually the one that you ended up getting was that piece, like the first piece I ever did. That's like the base layer of it, and then
Right.
I like added
Color
some
and a
like
few more
color to it.
details and stuff.
Right, yeah, and I
That's a
made
cool
it
one. Who owns that one?
a mirror.
Okay.
And he went by like Visionary at the time when he was
Yeah.
collecting my stuff. He actually collected the first few NFTs that I did, and then I haven't seen him like active on Twitter or anything or on Super Rare in a while. So I don't know what. Shout out to him for being the OG to collect my first stuff.
Yeah, that's a really cool piece. We have like
Thanks.
the twin pieces now, fraternal
Right.
twins.
Oh, actually, yeah. That's the different. The main difference is there's a gas mask on
Yeah,
the other one, and then I took it
that's a
off
cool one.
for the one that you got. But I'm actually in the process. I was gonna. I don't know if you saw. I was sketching a piece. I'm in the process of tokenizing something right now
Mm-hmm.
that I was planning on. I wanted to finish it by the time we did this and then mint it, but it's definitely not finished. But I think that it's like a version that I could tokenize, and then
Yeah.
if somebody bids on it by the time this is over, I'll accept that bid.
Oh,
But I'm trying
I
to
want to
I'm
see
trying
it.
to tokenize it right now,
That's really cool.
and it's similar
What's it on?
style to that.
Okay, cool.
I just need to add a description, which I suck at. Um,
Um,
but yeah,
that sounds really awesome. Yeah, I definitely want to see it. Are you
do
and you're
this real
tokenizing
quick.
that through Super Rare, obviously?
Yeah.
And you brought up something that I just want to talk about really quickly. Like when you're like, yeah, obviously I wish they were Bitcoin NFTs. The kind of cool thing about this is like really a majority of the people that are buying your work, there's kind of like a good and bad thing. The secondary market, unless we're on like Nifty Gateway or something, the secondary market is not crazy like hot right now. The primary market is definitely where it's at. So typically, like you probably know who your collectors are. They're obviously listed on Super Rare and have usernames. And if they're not, I'm sure you could probably find out. So the kind of cool thing is, once Bitcoin NFTs do make sense, you can reach out to that ETH collector and say, hey, like, I want to put this as a Bitcoin NFT. Like, send me, if you want, send me your NFT. I'll burn it and transfer you to a Bitcoin one. So it's kind of cool because the
Right.
blockchain is so transparent that you can like see who is who and what and who owns what, and you can sort of do these sort of things like as you go, or maybe maybe it's both, maybe they get both, like
Hmm.
who knows, like I think it's kind of a cool system.
Yeah, and I hope we can cross that bridge one day and
Or
be.
even, yeah, I've even talked to someone about like the idea of like wrapping, so like you just wrap the ETH one so it keeps all the metadata and put it into a Bitcoin NFT. So like I don't
Well,
know,
and
there's cool ideas.
that's probably the way it has to be done at the end of the day is like ETH just becomes a another layer, but like all the data or I don't even know where the data needs to be stored. In a lot of cases, I think it's stored like on IPFS
Mm-hmm.
or like something else, and it's like not really on the chain anyways.
Right.
And it's like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many layers and where what data is on those layers, as long as it comes back to Bitcoin and is hashed somewhere in that blockchain, like that's where the value comes in NFT, I think.
Yeah, no, that'll be interesting once we
We'll
start getting
cross that
into
bridge.
that field for sure.
I
Um,
think I just tokenized it. I think.
you want to drop or send me a link or put the link in the? Do you have Twitch up? You can send me a link on Discord and I'll put it in the chat, so we can see it. Um,
Twitter.
but I'm just reading the comments. But was fine when I told Josie converts back to BTC in the end. Oh, Ikaitsa, I see what you're saying. Hey Coldy, Okaitsa, Easing Crypto, Bitcoin Monopoly. Sorry I didn't say hi to everyone as they came in.
Kaita and Hav, I think he spilled the beans that
Yeah.
he's Havo. He's got to be like, if Coldy's not the one that got me into NFTs, it's Havo, because he was DMing me about NFTs for months before I actually got on Super Rare. So shout out to
That's cool.
Coldy and the Kaita.
It's funny, someone was making fun of me the other day for saying shout out in one of my
Is it not cool to say shout out anymore?
no, they're like, "Are you a rapper?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "You keep saying shout out." And I was like, "I thought that was the thing. I hear it on YouTube all the time." So now all I'm thinking is like
Yeah.
that rappers say shout out, but no, I say it all the time.
So
Um,
Nick Can't Mine, I don't know, like if you know him by that or if you know him at all.
I don't know
He like
who it
runs our social media now.
is. Okay.
He's like 20 years old, and the shit that he doesn't know about would just blows my mind. Like
20,
there's such
I
a
mean, yeah, I mean, was he born in 2000? Like, that's crazy. Or
like,
maybe
yeah, I
1999.
guess.
That's
Jeez. Yeah, I didn't even think
crazy.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like he didn't know who the Beatles are. He didn't know anything.
Oh, wow.
But
But that
I feel
is
like you
cool.
learn new things.
Um, no, it's really cool because so Havo, I met Havo first at Bitcoin 2019, which is also where I met you, which is also where I met Coldy in person. And me, Spidey, and Steady were there, like geeking out about crypto voxels and just being little weirdos with a VR headset. And like Coldy, it was his first time ever going in crypto voxels in the VR headset, or like
At
I think
Bitcoin 2019.
it was his first time going in crypto boxes at all. He was like, "What are you guys doing?" Because his booth was near mine, and then
Wow.
after that, like so much just unraveled and was like unfolding from there. And I was like, "This is just so cool!" Like that conference brought together a really awesome community. I hadn't met Chief Monkey in person, or even had I met Skrilla before? I think that was my first time meeting him in person. Um, but yeah, no, it brought together such a cool
Crypto
community,
Graffiti was
and
there.
yeah, I've obviously met Crypto Graffiti before that, but it
This is my
brought
first time meeting any of y'all.
really, yeah, it brought
Yeah,
together everyone, and there was it's. I go to a lot of conferences. It was the most art that I had ever seen at a conference up until that point, and I actually still think it is, which was
yeah.
impressive.
And all we did was like take the lobby of the main stage and just like put a handful of you guys against the walls and stuff. Like it wasn't even that big. Like Bitcoin 2021's art gallery, which I don't know if you got my email. Are you in
I
for that?
yeah, I'm in. I don't know when it is, but I'm in.
Well,
When is
you
it?
were gonna be in for 2020, right?
Yeah, I'm always in. I love
So
conferences.
it's the same, it's just the same art gallery, but probably gonna be like twice the size, if not more.
Cool.
But I'm
What month
saying
is it in?
um April 30th and May 1st.
Sounds great. I'm definitely in.
Actually April 29th.
All right, you guys hear that? You need to mark your calendar so you can come
It's gonna
attend.
be the biggest Bitcoin art gallery ever. And if you say that Bitcoin 2019 was the biggest one that you've seen, then this is just, it's not even gonna be funny. It's gonna be like a whole like quarter of the exhibitor hall is gonna be an art gallery.
And will it be SF again or will it be LA?
It's gonna be in LA.
Nice.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's funny you said that you didn't enjoy SF, because I actually almost like got in a fight with a homeless guy on the way to the conference. I think day two or like in the morning, and it was just
Yeah.
like just getting from the hotel to the conference was like the worst experience ever. And like I felt bad for the guests and stuff, and we had a lot of people say let's go somewhere else, not SF. But once COVID happened and we were able to kind of just regroup and rethink it, LA was the right answer for sure.
Yeah, I feel bad, but I've had two bad experiences in SF, so it's just like not on my list for places I like to be. The first time, anyways, I won't even talk about the first time experience when I went to the conference. It was bizarre and weird. But then the second time when I went for the Pantera blockchain conference at like the Ritz, like I was walking to
Pantera,
dinner.
like, isn't that, is that a band or is that a crypto
Pantera.
project?
Oh, it's like the fund Pantera Capital,
Okay.
Pantera
Oh,
Capital.
okay.
But they I went to that conference to exhibit, and Crypto Graffiti was there too. But anyways, I went to dinner the first night, and I was just walking by myself, and a homeless guy just came out of the corridor. I didn't see him, and he like spit in my face, and I was
Jeez.
like literally just a huge like spit in my face, and I was like, okay, I officially don't like San Francisco. But
Yeah.
LA, I love LA. That'll be a lot of fun, and it'll be just nice. Actually have a friend there, so it'll be nice to see her and just see everyone there. So that I'm definitely down for that.
Yeah,
Um,
it's gonna be epic.
yeah,
That's a word that doesn't get thrown around anymore.
I know.
Boomers.
Send me a link to the either in Twitter or something to the piece so I can drop it in the chat here.
I
Um,
tried to.
let's see.
Here we go.
Also, oh, Pantero, the singer. Oh, sweet. Oh, Habo just dropped it. Never mind. He's gotcha. Habo,
Dope.
you're always so on top of everything. Do you want to talk about the? Um, I so you have this. Oh, cool. Do you want to talk about this piece, and then I have a couple questions about some of your older pieces too.
Yeah, for sure. This one is like an idea that I've had for a little while, and I just haven't gotten around to sketching it. And then today, I was like, if I can get this done by the time I go on Josie's thing, then I can promote it a little bit. But it's definitely not done, like by any stretch. But I figured put a little sketch out there. But I mean, it's not much more at this point than what it looks like, which is just like a mech suit with couple Bitcoin references. Uh, Obviously, the Guy Fawkes mask and the
Yep.
Dali mask, and then the Pepe. And I'm gonna do some more
Cool.
stuff with the hands, but I just like I've already spent like I think the iPad said like 4 hours on it, and
This is pretty
I
good in 4 hours.
thanks. It's definitely sketchy, like
I kind
and
of like that though, and I feel like that goes with your some of your style, not all of your pieces, but I think that it's cool. Like that's I like the style of that.
yeah, thanks. I guess it's a style because it's like how I sketch, but like I definitely like I go between like wanting to spend like hours and hours on stuff and wanting to like develop a style that I'm able to kind of like replicate quicker, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
it's like I guess I've been so accustomed to like switching up styles all the time and just trying to, you know, be able to do all styles. It's like hard to get consistent for me, and I think you can probably see that in my feed on Super Rare. It's not like as cohesive as some, uh, but
Which
I don't know.
I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, and maybe I have a different perspective on it because I mean, I didn't go to art school or anything like that. And I would say, I actually don't know if someone can look at a piece and be like, that's a Josie piece. Like, obviously, if it has a gas mask, I think you can. And typically, obviously, I always paint women unless it's like Halfany that warrants not painting a woman. But I don't know. Like, I think that it's kind of fun to try different styles and whatever I think is really cool at that moment, like that's what I'll do. And I don't know if that sticks to what you're supposed to do or not supposed to do, but I mean, I pull a ton of inspiration. I mean, when you look at my art that's on my wall, just like my personal collection, a lot of it is like street artists and graffiti art, mixed with like paintings of women, and I just love that stuff. So I pull inspirations from that, but also there's some 3D art that I freaking love. So I just
I
think it's
know.
cool to mix it all together.
The 3D stuff, like I'm trying so hard to master Blender. I don't know if I'll ever, I mean, I'll get there eventually, but like I don't know if I'll get there fast enough because like all the shit that I keep seeing, I'm just like I need to be able to do that on the fly because I feel like I've got all these ideas and like I know I'm so shitty at Blender right now that like it's not even worth doing these ideas in Blender. I need to just like draw them for now
Yeah. But
until
you know
I'm
what I
good at Blender.
learned? Blender is really freaking hard. ZBrush is a bit easier in my opinion than Blender.
Mm-hmm.
But what I did learn even from like the stream with Metageist and Joy, there are easier ways. Of course, like I have a headset. Do you have a VR headset?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I got the Oculus Quest and I
Yeah.
got the cable and then I plugged it into my computer, my desktop that I have at home, and it just doesn't work with it. So I can only do like a couple different softwares without plugging it in, obviously. And I just haven't completed a like a piece
Yeah, I do
to
think
be
it's a
able
bit
to show it
easier
at that
there,
point.
though. You should check out my stream with Metageist because he talks about like the tools he uses, and
Mm.
he talked about possibly sharing a bit more of what he does with the like the actual interface. But I'm sure you could ask anyone for help with that kind of stuff. But it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's like my goal to get proficient at 3D stuff and to be able to make basically 3D characters. Like
Yeah,
I think Joy is like one of my all-time favorites, and
yeah.
what he does, where it's just like one-off characters, and that's that's kind of the beauty of NFTs is like there's a little character, there's one of them, and like I want to be able to do that with my own like kind of video game idea that I've been thinking about for the longest time that probably will never happen, but
Hey, you
that's
never know.
stretch goals.
Do you want to talk about the video game idea you have, or is it under wraps for now?
It's way too it's way
Premature.
too premature. But
Okay.
let's just say that like a lot of the art that I'm going to be putting out will be about that, or like
Cool.
not about that, but like let's just
Have
say that
some.
I'm storyboarding right now.
Speaking of storyboarding, some of my favorite pieces of yours, I'll try to drop them in the chat. I love these pieces, and I don't know if you like had a name for this series, and sorry I didn't check if you did. But this series that you were doing where it was like 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, and it looks like this kind of like really dark setting and looks almost like comic book style, but not like mixed in with like I don't know. Do you know which ones I'm talking about?
But
Where they're
yeah,
like
yeah.
pixely and the lines move, but then it like zaps in really close to something or really far from something else. Like, what was that series called? Because I think that's my favorite of that entire series. Is my favorite of your works.
Thanks. Yeah, so like this actually goes back to how I got or when I got into super rare and NFTs. I was like chatting with Havo on just like Twitter DMs, like talking about how I was gonna or what I was gonna do as far as NFTs, or like if I wanted to do series, or like make everything super cohesive, or make everything animated, or make everything still, or whatever. Like what I was just kind of bouncing ideas off him, like what because I was obviously new to the NFT game. I didn't know what I was going to do yet. So obviously I did that first piece for Coldie's show, but after that I was like, all right, I want to do a series of 8 pieces, and I want them to be connected. Um, and I that's where that started. I didn't have a name for the series until the very end, and my goal was to finish. Well, my goal became to finish. My arbitrary goal became to finish the pieces by the halving,
Hmm.
which ended up being exactly when I finished that
Cool.
little series. But I couldn't help myself but to like sprinkle other NFTs in along the way. and I basically worked on those like when I could on the side because I was still like preparing for the halving event that we were doing at Bitcoin Magazine, stuff like that. Uh, but yeah, like the the little story or whatever is just supposed to be like a Satoshi's like in the VR world or whatever, like whatever cyber realm he'd be walking around in, and then his little alarm goes off, and it's the Fed going nuts with the burn machine, and he's like zapped back to reality, and he grabs his sword and like teleports to the scene where there's this giant like Fed monster with like Trump's head and Jay Powell money gun cannon arms. And I definitely didn't spend enough time on making the money gun cannon stuff like is evident as I think it should be. But like it's funny that you say it's like comic book style, but like storyboard style, because like I really was kind of, after I realized I wasn't going to be able to spend as many hours on each individual one as I wanted to, I reverted to just be like, all right, I just need to get the concept down so that like maybe I can revisit it in a video or something. But that's basically it. Like Satoshi comes to the scene in just like any town, USA or whatever, and it's raining money, and there's this monster in the streets raining money, and just like One Punch Man just like hits the monster with a big swipe of the sword and then teleports to the moon, and the day is saved. And
Yeah.
I called it Epoch's End because, or Epic's End, however you want to pronounce that, because I basically finished it right before we went live with the halving stream, and I I made myself stick to the whole like get them all out before the halving and be done with that chapter, and be done with that series. And the last one, the number 8, I actually cheated because I only did 7 of them, and then the 8th one, I made like a little header thing that I just attached a track from my buddies who they're called Martial Magic,
Hmm.
and they make some of the best beats. Excuse me. They were my roommates for a year. I swear they make some of the most fire beats, and like anything that you hear come out of Bitcoin Magazine that's like shit, that sounds like a original beat. It's definitely Martial Magic. And they basically lent me this song, or I think I gave them some Bitcoin to let me uh, put the song as part of the NFT series. And it just kind of like, if you go to my Twitter, the pinned tweet is just like all of them together with the song playing, and
I'm gonna
yeah,
check that
just
out. That's kind of
brought it
cool
all
that
together.
you like have different creatives around you too that you can kind of get inspired from. Um, I love hearing about that series that you did because I really like that series. My favorite one I posted in here. I posted a lot of them in here, but my favorite one is 1.2. I really love that one. And Havo just said I introduced Amir to Tommy's art, and I said, "Will Amir sell it to me?" LOL, because he owns that one, and I love that one.
I
It
mean,
was
is it
Satoshi sitting at the table and like the screen, and you told me, which I had no idea, that there's actually a piece of my art in the back wall, which is so cool. I had no idea, and I've always loved that piece. And then with like the zap coming out, I just love that. It's such a cool piece.
thanks. Yeah, I threw some art references in the background of that one because like the concept of that one is it's like Satoshi's little uh I forgot what the word for the room that he's in. I feel bad. I think it's like a hashtag on one of the, or on the piece, but he's just in his pad, and he's got in the background some Bitcoin art that he's collected. So like obviously he would have the Ross poster that you made in his pad.
That was so cool. Um, Okay, cool. I was like, uh, oh, Amir's offline, but he might be open to offers. All right, well, I'll check it out. I love that piece. It's really cool. I'd love to see more of that, and I'm really excited to hear about like these this video game idea you're working on. I want to see what that looks like too. Um, so what do you think it would take? So once Bitcoin NFTs make sense, are you ever gonna make a NFT on Ethereum again? I'm gonna ask some spicy questions.
Um, I like, yeah, I guess that's really hard to answer because when that day comes, I'm gonna be so busy making Bitcoin NFTs. Like, why? I don't know why I would
Maybe your
make
Ethereum NFTs will become super collectible then.
maybe. Sometimes I'm like, if I am thinking about whether or not to put something out as an NFT, I'm just like, this is just total garbage. But
You're
like,
so down on your art.
maybe the fact that it's total garbage will make it more valuable one day. I don't know.
No, you're so down on your art. Like I hear you say this multiple times. Oh, like I didn't have that much time to spend on it. Like your art looks really good. Like
I
there's don't
well,
be down on it.
I appreciate that, but I've the saying that art is never finished, it's abandoned.
Yeah.
I like when I first heard that, I was like, holy shit, like that's absolutely 100% correct. And that's exactly how I feel about just about everything that I've ever done. It's
Yeah.
just like I've never felt like it was like done or like, okay, I couldn't do another stroke on this one.
I
Uh,
feel that.
but yeah, I mean, if you don't feel that way, then you're probably not growing, or you're probably, I don't know, but I feel like that I'll probably always feel that way.
Yeah, no, I agree. Oh, Bitcoin Audio. Tommy's got talent. I didn't know you were in here. Nice to see you.
Bitcoin Audio, shout out to that guy.
Um, Point Shark liked your. I think he liked the links. Ikaitsa asked. Sorry, I keep switching between names, Havo, but your tag says Ikaitsa, so I keep
He
reading it.
came out and told everybody, so
Yeah.
it's
Um,
interchangeable as far as I'm concerned.
who are your favorite artists?
Mine,
Mm-hmm.
uh like NFT artists or like artists in general.
Let's do both. First, artists in general.
uh ooh. Well, what's coming to mind right now is Ken Taylor, who's a illustrator. I believe he's from Australia. His work, it's just like so precise. He makes these screen prints that are just mesmerizing, and I think his style was something that I was trying to like force mimic for the longest time, and I realized that like I don't know if I wasn't using the right brushes or I didn't I don't know what I was doing, but I just couldn't get it just right, and I was like, fuck that, I can't even try anymore. But like I admire Ken Taylor, his style a lot. Um, I already said Joy. Huge fan of everything that he's doing. Like the first time I saw his shit, I was just like, man, this is so dope. Like, but shout out Menards or Manards. I asked him if his name was a play on Manet and Menards, the hardware store, because I thought it was, and I thought it was like the biggest like art troll of all time. But it's just like his name like reversed or something.
Oh,
But
cool.
his shit is super dope, and I think I'm gonna have a collab with him soon enough. That's
Sweet.
actually my favorite part about like kind of transitioning from thinking myself as like a graphic designer to a crypto artist or whatever, is like I could just reach out to any of these people, and for the most part like they all seem down to collaborate, and like
Yeah.
I'm less looking for like side projects and like freelance work and stuff like that, and more just looking for like collabs that will, you know, make doper stuff than any type of, you know, hired work could do.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. And it's kind of cool because working off with somebody I mean, working with someone can be really difficult, but at the same time, if it's the right mix, it can pump out something really amazing. Um, GT, I always say your name wrong, so tell me in the chat how I should say your name. I'm just gonna call you GT. Um, Said that they work with Ken Taylor. That's pretty cool.
Tight.
Um,
Yeah, he makes some of the
the
dopest
printed work.
posters. It's unreal.
That is so cool. Oh, and they just linked the new gallery print from Ken Taylor, I'm assuming. GT, sweet, cool. Uh, Kites or Easy said, okay, cool. Everyone was just saying they like the work. Victor Mariano asked to learn how to make illustrations like you do. So, do you want to talk a little bit about like what you use? Like, do you ever use pen and paper? Or are you always using Procreate? Do you use certain pens a lot?
So I
Oh, and how do
guess,
you animate? Because I keep meaning to ask you that. Do you use After Effects?
yeah, I'd say when I'm like drawing these days, I'm using a iPad Pro with Procreate. Like I think as soon as I realized, I don't know when that shit came out for the first time, but as soon as I realized it was a thing, uh, and the at first I was like, using an iPad as a graphics tablet sucks and it's just garbage, but they eventually got better, and I got the screen, obviously that paper screen protector, and I mean, it doesn't get much easier than just getting in Procreate with an iPad Pro and sketching, even with just the brushes that it comes with. It's
Yeah.
That's usually what I'm using, and as far as animating, all if I'm doing a frame by frame, like that's also great for that. So it's like you can just turn on the animation thing and just start doing frame by frame animation like you would in Photoshop. But like, just it's a real nice experience. So I'll do that, but then most of the time I'll bring it into After Effects to do, After Effects.
And did you teach yourself After Effects? Because After Effects is kind of like I had a bit of a learning curve when I was learning that.
It's funny because people talk about like Premiere like it's super easy and After Effects like it's super hard. I'm like the other way around. I think Premiere Pro is garbage and I don't know how to use it. And After Effects is like second nature, or like it seems like it's just like, I don't know, something about uh, it's like I can just find shit easier or whatever. But yeah, After Effects, I guess I took a class in college that was like focused on animation, and I think we obviously touched After Effects and Premiere and other techniques, but I didn't get like good at After Effects until I started, working professionally and having to edit videos and stuff. And I
Yeah.
guess you're supposed to use Premiere to edit, excuse me, to edit videos, but I just use After Effects for like everything.
Yeah, I've actually never used Premiere, so I wouldn't know. I've only used After Effects. Maybe that's my
I don't even understand what the difference between the two is. I just feel like they decided that they needed to, and they would just make the shortcuts and the interface and just make them different. But I think they're the exact same shit. It's just like one's easier than the other for me. So I tend not to go against the stream, which is obviously not great for learning new softwares. But like when I get in a groove, I'd say I use Procreate, After Effects, Affinity Designer, Affinity Publisher. I don't even use Affinity Photo, uh, but like, and then Blender, but like I'm pretty trash at Blender at this point. But
I feel like
that's
you also say you're trash at things that you're like pretty good at, so I don't think I actually believe you. But okay, I'll give it to you on this round.
well, I it's like it's my goal to get better at Blender so that I can like make 3D NFTs and not feel like I'm just like jumping into a space that's already heavily owned. You know what
With
I mean?
talent, yeah,
And
no, there's a lot
it,
of talent.
it's it's intimidating.
Totally.
It's a daunting task
I
to get on these
mean,
guys' level.
yeah, like I don't even want to name them all. Like, I'm just thinking of the ones that are coming to the top of my head, and I'm like, holy crap, they're so talented. Like
But
Glass
like
Crane
the
for Night
beauty
Void.
of
all of
super
them.
rare, I feel like it's just so competitive, right? Like you see all this stuff that's just so good, and you're like, well, I need to step my game up if I'm gonna put stuff on here next to these. Like, so
Hmm.
it's just that constant like motivation, really, to put out stuff that's not, just a Bitcoin magazine cover article or something.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and it will totally open new ideas and just different paths for you when you learn those different things. Like when I learned AR, it opened up so many different ideas for me. So I think it's sort of, the same concept when you start learning new stuff like that. If you guys in the comments have questions, definitely pop them in. Um,
I think it's still crazy you said that Bitcoin 2019 was when Coldy discovered crypto voxels.
I'm pretty
I know.
sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, Coldy. It was definitely his first time in 3D, but I feel like because me, Spidey, and Steady have been actually we started becoming friends through CryptoVoxels, and after that conference, we met up with like I forget if the other guy we were with uses his real name, so I'm just not gonna say it. I forget what his name in CryptoVoxels in was, but we met up after the conference and like all went for drinks because we were like just CryptoVoxel losers basically because it like wasn't a big thing yet. And not a lot of people knew about it, and we're like trying to pull in as many people as we possibly could to it. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the first time, was it? Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
Goldie said
yeah,
pretty much.
those are the stories that just like warm my heart, you know? Like Bitcoin 2019, like if I could teleport back in time, like those were some good days. And I'm just so pumped that we're gonna do it all over again,
Same.
but like 10 times bigger. And the art aspect of it is gonna be way bigger. I'm like I already put on the website like the first, I think, 12 or 14 or 15 artists that have gotten back to me. Now that you've confirmed that you're in, I got to get you up there.
I'm in.
But like, yeah, just follow the b.tc/conference and the art gallery page on there. And it's just going to grow and grow. And like, hopefully, because it's a Bitcoin conference, and I'm not going to let people bring like ETH art. I mean, I'm not going to say like you can't have NFTs, but I don't think
It's a
like
Bitcoin. It's a Bitcoin conference.
it's a Bitcoin conference, and like it's a Bitcoin art gallery. So like if there's little ETH logos in your art, like, just don't show that one.
Yeah.
Like bring the other ones or whatever. And we're gonna have like monitors on deck, so like we'll have all the digital stuff. It won't just be physical art, because at Bitcoin 2019, that was kind of one of the cooler things about it. It was like all the big, I mean, not all the big, but like most of the biggest, like you guys that make the physical prints and the physical Bitcoin art, not necessarily NFTs at that time. Uh, that was, the mecca right there.
Yeah, there was a really, I mean, the exhibit was just so cool. And I hadn't seen Chief Monkey stuff in person. I hadn't seen Coldy stuff in person. I hadn't seen a ton of that stuff in person. And it was super epic. So I'm excited to see that again. And you had pulled, I mean, how many artists were at the last one? Like close to 20, 15?
I wanted to keep it, 21 artists,
Uh huh.
because like that'd be cute and everything. But at this point, I think there were over, for 2020 there was over 21. I couldn't like keep it under, and I'm not gonna try to keep it under a certain amount for this one either. I'm just gonna basically see how much space we have, and make sure that each artist has enough space and has like the
Yeah.
TVs that they need, or projectors or whatever, in order to. And I also want to have as many artists as are willing to do it from the gallery do more like installation type stuff. So like
Yeah.
if you want to do an AR thing
That'd be
and
really
have
cool.
like a whole space to work with, we'll have to just like, work on that once the venue is announced and stuff.
That would be
But
epic.
if
And then you'll ask Coldy to just make the entire replica in crypto voxels and manage
right,
that at the exact same time that he's going to be there at the show.
yeah, we're gonna put everybody to work and just like outsource all the cool ideas like that, and just that's my goal. Like let every artist shine and do work for the conference at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's a weird thing to plan a conference right now with all the COVID stuff,
Yeah.
especially in California where they're like dealing with all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
But like as soon as we announce the venue, and like hopefully things get better, like we're gonna. I mean, this could be a 5 to 10,000 person event. It'll definitely be the biggest Bitcoin conference of all time.
That'll be
So we're
really cool.
super pumped.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that. And maybe, who knows, maybe that will be like the launch of some really cool Bitcoin NFT platform that does it really well.
Yeah,
We'll
I
see.
mean that's what I'm hoping for. Like uh, when shit gets launched at these conferences, and you can look back and say like it started here, or they announced it here. Like that's what I'm hoping Bitcoin 2021 is, that the Bitcoin NFT platform to rule them all ends up uh, coming out at that time.
That'd be
Hopefully,
pretty sweet.
maybe Bitcoin Magazine will even have something to do with it. Who
That'd be
knows?
awesome. We'll see. We'll see. Lots of stuff in the works. Um, sorry, I'm just making sure no one asked anything in the comments while we're talking. I don't think so.
Shout
Everyone's
out
just looking
Bitcoin
for the
Audio
chat.
again if he's still in there, because we finally got the Howls Blocks
Oh,
record
cool.
sent out, or we ordered the record, so there'll be a physical record of his song Howls Blocks.
Nice. I want to hear that. That'll be really awesome.
Yeah, I don't know.
How long is it?
It's the song is like it's just one track. I put it on both sides of the record, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like 4 minutes long, I think.
Okay, cool.
But I think we ordered like 16 of them.
Nice.
So
And do you want to tell people really quick what Bitcoin Audio does, because it's so freaking cool and you guys should all check him out if you haven't yet.
yeah, he basically made like a synth, uh, or like a interface to let you like pick a Bitcoin block like in the past. Like you just type in which block, and it takes the data, like the hash and I don't know if it takes the nonce or like what it takes, but you can like take different data points from that block and run it through synths and like make beats out of it. So like he's helped me with videos that I've done for I think Bitcoin Independence Day and this Hal's Day thing this fundraiser that we did for Hal and ALS, just like sending me little beats that he's made from just straight from the Bitcoin blockchain, and separate those in the videos. So it's like super dope to to just make beats straight from Bitcoin.
Yeah, no, it's so cool and
Like that's what he, yeah.
it's just bizarre, and like even like he has like a light that like plays with it too, right?
He also made it so that it like generates a color palette, I think.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know what else he
He
has
does
in that
crazy
thing,
stuff. It's
but yeah,
really cool.
he's it seems like he's always working on some dope visualizers or like sound ways to synth the blockchain. And like he was just on Drinks in Quarantine right before this,
Oh, nice.
uh, and yeah, they were talking all the regulation crackdown that's been going on.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
But,
It's been
but yeah,
nuts.
I'm gonna have to watch that one now. For sure.
Definitely. So is there anything that you want to tell everyone about that you have coming up, obviously, besides like the conference and stuff like that?
Well, we could talk about Bitcoin Black Friday, which
Yeah.
super excited about. So that's been kind of one of the main focuses at Bitcoin Magazine for the past couple weeks and months, and it's going to be November 27th is Bitcoin Black Friday, and then we'll continue it through the weekend to Cypher Monday. But it's just Bitcoin only deals for Bitcoin Black Friday. And if you're a company that, or even if like as an artist, I think Nanu Burks already has a deal up there. Like you could go on there and there's the partner or like submit a deal button and you just fill out a form with your deal. And I set it up so that it just like automatically goes into the website CMS. Excuse me. And then excuse me. And then I just like update it when new deals come in. But it's just like a hub for, hopefully right now we're at like 90 deals. And I'm not sure what like the biggest retailer or whatever that we have on there at this point is, but it's still pretty early. I'm hoping there's going to be like hundreds and hundreds of deals from all different kinds of stores, and it's all just about the Bitcoin circular economy and spending Bitcoin and getting all these stores to accept Bitcoin, and basically teaching them that not only do they want to accept Bitcoin to like, you know, have these deals on Black Friday, but they want to keep that Bitcoin
Right.
and start, you know, hodling Bitcoin as a
That's really
company.
cool. And how can people, you said it's on the website?
Yeah, so bitcoinblackfriday.com.
Okay.
If you're like a business or you want to put a deal of your own, there's a form to fill out. But otherwise, just on the homepage, there's like, I think there's over 90 deals, and probably like half of them are already active. So like
Cool.
you don't have to wait till Bitcoin Black Friday. I feel like when I say Black Friday, I always put Bitcoin in front of it now. It's like I didn't even realize it until just now, but it's now Bitcoin Black Friday to me, like
Love it.
forever. So I feel like this is the first year that Bitcoin Magazine has handled Bitcoin Black Friday, but Bitcoin Black Friday's been a thing for, you know, years, as far as like a website and a hub for all the deals. So we're just kind of taking over as the guardians of that and making it as big as we can this year.
That's awesome. That's really exciting. Um, do you guys have more questions in the chat? Let me know. Is he still? Oh yeah, Havo. He is still at the office. You're
Yeah,
the
this is
hard
the office.
worker.
This is actually where I do a Twitch stream almost every week. We don't really have a regular schedule for this, but we play marbles on Twitch. I don't know if you've seen marbles. You
No,
seen
I
anyone
haven't.
play that?
I've heard it. Someone told me that they do it on some server. They all play marbles, but I don't.
Yeah,
I've
it's
never.
like I didn't know what it was until we got the Bitcoin Twitch account as a company, and we're just like, all right, what do we do with it? Like, what do we do with the Bitcoin Twitch account? And Flip Flip's a coworker of mine. He's one of the coders here, does a lot of the technical stuff. We just get on Twitch and play marbles with whoever shows up, and we give away Bitcoin to whoever wins.
What? That's so cool.
Yeah,
And it's just it's. I guess I don't know the game of marbles. Do you
you
like
don't even
try to
have to
knock
do
each other
anything. Like
out? Like what is it?
you don't even get to do that. It's literally like a simulation. Like
Is it a race?
yeah, yeah, it's like a race to the finish as marbles, and there's just different tracks, and like
Oh,
you can't
okay.
control anything. Like I
You
can't even
just
control
pick your
anything.
winner.
But it yeah, it just basically like whoever's watching the stream can like enter and become a marble, and then
Got it.
I press go, and they all the marbles go through the track, and I just control the camera. So like I just kind of follow the marbles. I can't control the marbles or anything like that. So it's like whoever wins wins.
Oh wait, that's
And
actually really cool.
we use Carrot, which I'll give a plug right now to Carrot. It's a company or a product that we made in house at Bitcoin Magazine, where we're just basically giving away Sats like through Lightning for surveys and just other random bounties, essentially. And it's called earncarrot.com, and you can just go there and earn tons of Sats. And
Okay,
like
that's cool.
we just give away codes that you go on Carrot and redeem. Like I think it's like 21,000 Sats or something like that. And we just give them away to the winner of the marble run. So it's like, if you ever see Bitcoin, the Twitch account going live on Twitch, it's definitely something that you need to watch. But
Okay.
it's probably me and Flip playing marbles, and you can win Bitcoin that way.
Okay, well, Easy's already asking for the link because he already plays with
Bitcoin
another
Audio knows all
Discord.
about it. Bitcoin
Okay,
Audio knows
cool.
all about this shit because he's a regular on our Twitch stream,
Okay,
winning Bitcoin. But yeah,
cool.
like there's definitely a lot of streams that play marbles, and we're trying to basically one up them by being the marble stream that you can just win Bitcoin.
Win. Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
I like that because there's actually, I forget what the channel's called, but there's like a marble racing channel on YouTube that he like does these really cool marble races, and I have to admit that I definitely watch them on YouTube. And like me and my fiance will pick which marble we think will win, and like we'll get so excited if we won. So
I
this
mean,
literally sounds up my alley.
it's
I need to
probably
play.
the exact same. It's probably the exact
But
same
his is like
program.
he does no, he does real like marble races. Like he'll build a whole track for it, or he'll do it in the sand and like carve it all out.
Like
It's really cool.
real.
Like real marbles in real. He does it in snow,
Wait,
in sand, in dirt.
I
He
thought you were
builds
talking
like
about
wood
what I'm
obstacles.
talking about. You're talking about in real life. He
No,
makes
no, no. Like
marble.
yeah, he makes them in real life, but I just watch him on YouTube, and he like has this like Olympic like the Marble Olympics and has this crazy announcing voice, like when he's like, and the slime ball green just passed, blah blah blah. Anyways, I'm
That's
a loser,
crazy.
but it's fun, and this sounds like I need to play this game.
See,
Um,
that's some next level shit that we don't quite do. We just use the out of the box marble game that you know is on Twitch.
well, it sounds like
You
maybe you
can
need to
make your
have
own
you need to
track.
have your own marble track at Bitcoin 2021. Clearly,
Well, yeah, the in person marble thing that's genius. I don't know why I didn't think of that already, but you're totally right. Because
Marble Olympics.
I mean, what better way to give away Bitcoin than to just let marbles roll? You know,
Yeah.
that's what I always say. And I try to do the announcing sometimes on the marbles. I'm getting better. I think
Nice.
doing the Twitch thing or like the marble Twitch thing is great because like I never do, or like up until I think this year, I never did podcasts or anything like that, and I'm just getting used to them. And doing the Twitch stream is definitely a lot of fun. So
Where can people find that Twitch stream, by the way?
just Bitcoin Twitch, twitch.tv/Bitcoin.
Oh, sweet. Um, So, okay, so I'm gonna start asking you some of these closing questions. One second. Um, oh, Twitch. Whoops, sorry, I was gonna link that really quick.
Oh, and also, if you subscribe to the Bitcoin Twitch channel, then you can use the Bitcoin emotes, and
Oh,
you can
nice.
just spam them anywhere. So like, if you want to be able to go on whoever's Twitch channel and just spam the Bitcoin logo over and over, or the little roller coaster guy, the Bitcoin
Cool.
guy, those are the two emotes that you
I'm
get
really
when you
bad with
subscribe.
the emotes, so now I know that. I need to do those.
Yeah,
Um,
it was kind of hard to figure out how to customize the emotes, like
yeah,
harder than I
I
thought.
don't really know how. Twitch always like whenever I do a smiley face, it shows up with this really creepy like white mask, like a ghost smiley face. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how to do cool emojis on here, but okay. So let me ask you these closing questions. Um, I realized that this season they're kind of my questions are kind of like longer than last season's, but that's all right. You can answer them short or long, whatever you wish. Okay, a skill that you wish you had.
I definitely wish I could code. I I know like I could probably learn if I really put my mind to it, but like it's it seems like I'm so shitty at math. Like the concepts I understand, but like as soon as you put me in front of some math, I'm just like illiterate. So it would definitely help to be able to code. I mean, I just admire the ones who can code their own shit,
Yeah.
like Matt Cain's
Oh, I know.
stuff
I
is
was
just
just thinking
unreal.
of him. He's so talented. He's a madman.
Yeah, it's like, do I try to learn how to code, or do I try to learn Blender? And like, I feel like both are so daunting,
Yeah,
but
I agree.
going with Blender.
Your favorite animal?
My dog.
Okay, that's a good one. Um, what kind of dog do you have?
She's a border collie mix.
Oh, nice.
She's like,
She probably
I
has a
feel
lot of
like,
energy. Or
she
do
yeah, she
they?
does.
Okay.
She definitely does. She's like my whole world. So
Aw. Too
she's the
bad you can't
best.
bring her to work. That'd be really cool.
I can. I actually thought about it, but she'd probably be barking.
Yeah. If you only had to watch one movie for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Rock and rolla.
Okay. Wait, has someone else said that on this stream? They might have. Or
If they have,
maybe it
I
was
wanna
from
meet
the
them.
crowd. But I'll have to think back on that. Your favorite place on earth, near or far?
Ooh. Uh, well, I mean, I'm gonna have to say Chicago because uh, I was born in the suburbs, and I consider
Which
Chicago my
burb?
home.
Or do
I
you mind saying? I don't know.
Oh no, I grew up in Glen Ellen, which is
Okay.
like super suburban, like 40 minutes outside of Chicago, like
Mm-hmm.
straight west. Uh, but yeah, like Chicago will always be my number one spot.
Nice.
But I've wanted to go back there, but I love working. I mean, I could work remote, but I love working here. And this new office that we got recently, we were in like a high rise with a bunch of law firms, and it just didn't feel right. We got this new office, and it's like, you actually enjoy coming to the office and stuff. So it's yeah. Even with the COVID stuff, it's like we're able to feel relatively normal with a
Yeah.
dope office.
Yeah. No.
But I miss Chicago.
That's a good reason though, since you can like be around everyone there and not be so like in solitary confinement in your house during this. But yeah, no, I'm biased. I'm in Chicago now, but I do love Chicago. So, um, let's see. What was cool when you were young but isn't cool now?
Hmm. See, it's funny because I feel like everything that was cool when I was young, like, is cool now, or
Yeah,
like is getting cool again now.
that's fair.
Shit. That's a really good question. I honestly don't
Did you
know.
have like? I'm trying to think. I mean,
That isn't cool now.
what was
I mean,
cool?
I guess like wearing like wearing like Jinko jeans, but like I guess that
Okay.
is cool now again, and I never wore those in the first place, so that's a bad answer. Everything's getting cool again. Like,
That's true.
but then again, I've got 20-year-old Nick over there that like doesn't know anything, and like half the shit that comes out of his mouth, I have no idea what he's talking about. So it's
Yeah. Does he
weird.
have? Is he like a TikToker? That'd be pretty funny.
I don't even think he's a TikToker, which is like,
Okay.
I thought you had to be a TikToker if you
I
were his age.
I thought so too, but I could be wrong. Coldy said chain wallets. He used to be cool when he was young, but
Yeah,
not cool
that's right.
now.
Lanyards,
Oh,
lanyards and chain
lanyards.
wallets.
Yeah, I don't remember chain wallets, but lanyards for sure. Or like those. I don't know if this was a girl thing, but always used to make those. I think we called
Oh,
them
these things.
lanyards. No, yeah, those were cool. That like the
Yeah.
Live Strong, like all those. But what was the
Yep.
I don't remember what they called, but they were like plastic strings, and you used to like fold them and like make these really cool like box braids out of them, and people would put them on their keychains.
Weren't they like, they were like
I
rubber
think people
bands, right?
no, they were like long plastic strings that you would like braid into stuff, and I think people called them lanyards. But anyways,
Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Like you made little keychains and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, would you want to live forever?
Would I?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I guess it
Assuming you
depends.
have your health.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I had the opportunity to collab with the Genius Corp uh, album that just came out. The shit, I'm blanking on what the name of that album is, but the song that I got to make a little like looping cover for was called Digitized, and super dope song, and I'm super glad that I was able to have a part in the release of it. But it's like about like a digital afterlife or whatever, like
Mm-hmm.
will eventually get uploaded and be living digitally until the universe ends or whatever. So it's like I think the goal of humanity has to be to like live as long as possible, and if as long as possible is forever, as far as we can quantify, then that's got to be the goal. And if
Cool.
it's got to be, it's probably going to be some kind of digital afterlife type thing.
And you would want that for your future for yourself?
It depends. Like, not if like Facebook made it.
Hey, that's fair.
We'll see.
Well, hopefully
We'll see what type of
NFTs.
digital afterlives are available. I saw that
Yeah.
Amazon shit, and it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
They have the wrong ideas about it.
But I mean, NFTs literally a metaverse with NFTs makes so much sense because you literally have property rights and ownership.
Yeah,
So
and
that's why NFTs are
immutability.
so freaking cool.
Like,
Um,
could you imagine being a digital, like being a token in the ether, but like someone had the ability to turn you off from the
yeah,
outside?
right. If you said
Like,
if you made political art off,
right, exactly.
like delete. No, totally. I 100% agree with you. But yeah, I like that answer. That's a good answer. Normally people would just say no, which I want to live forever.
Well, yeah,
And
if living forever means like in a block of ice,
no, 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 no. Like
like
life. Yeah,
right,
I don't know
exactly.
how to look in the future, but I definitely. I always joke. I'm like, yeah, upload my brain to the internet, kind of thing. Um, Bitcoin or Ethereum? I don't really have to ask you this, but I will just for the sake of it.
Well, the answer is Bitcoin. I appreciate Ethereum for what it is. And Bitcoin Magazine was founded by Vitalik,
Yeah,
so and a bunch of other people. But like there'd be no Ethereum without Bitcoin, and I think Ethereum has its place and is a great technology in itself. But to me, it's like the difference between like the internet and Bluetooth or something. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like they're just different things that should be used differently. And I do think that eventually Bitcoin NFTs will probably have to. I mean, smart contracts on Bitcoin are around the corner, if not already there with DLCs. But like, we'll we'll probably need to use Ethereum to make Bitcoin NFTs or something like it. So there's a place for Ethereum, but nothing is Bitcoin but Bitcoin.
All right, good answer. I like that answer too. Okay, last two questions. Your favorite NFT that you own?
Hmm. I kind of need to go look at my wallet real quick.
Yeah, you can look at it. While you're looking at it,
Uh,
think about the. Oh, did you think of one already?
well, I was gonna say a collector who I won't name tried to come after my Menards shattered image triptych of the pigs, or the pig with the shattered uh, foreground or whatever, and that's one that I had to turn down some ETH for because I just couldn't part with it.
So maybe that
Um,
one's your favorite.
the political nature, the artist, the deal that I got for it. I think I got the three of them for one ETH. So like that one's definitely. I feel like I've just everything that I've collected, especially on Super Rare. I'm looking through it now. I feel like is quality, and I got for like a steal.
Yeah,
So I definitely don't have any pieces on Super Rare, at least, that I was like, why did I buy that? You know, like
that's
there's been
good.
times, there's been fucking times where I just get ETH in my wallet and I'm like, oh, I got to get rid of this Monopoly money. Like I got to do something with it. And it only dawns on me half the time to just turn it into Bitcoin. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh, I'll just, this is dope. I'll get this NFT. but I've been a more disciplined investor lately, I think.
Okay. Oh, also I forgot. Sorry, Easy. I saw the question and then forgot to ask it. Um, Easy asked if there's any plans for any additions of your work in the future. Will you ever do additions?
Editions like reruns of
So
old
like
NFTs or
how I released like 21 of Hal. So like
oh.
on Super Rare you can only do one of ones, but would you do
Mhm.
additions somewhere else like OpenSea?
Yeah, I mean, I've been on Rarible doing like I'll take select like covers from Bitcoin Magazine, like cover art that I've done, and I'll make like out of 21 and like put the price, excuse me, put the price pretty low. And those have sold a little bit, but I tend to be on the side of like the one of ones are kind of the idea. I do like think if it was like if I was going to make like trading cards or something like that, I would be doing additions. Um, I'm definitely going to be focusing on my async pieces here soon. I'm on async, but I never made anything on there yet, and it's just like that's one of those things where it's like shit. I need to really take full advantage and make this thing super dope, and I just like
Yeah.
you know it's it'll come out soon enough, but hopefully by the end of the year.
Okay.
But as
That's
far as
exciting.
additions, only on Rarible at this point.
Okay. Well, and I mean, they're not additions on async, but there potentially will be opportunities to get some layers
Yeah.
for different price ranges, which is cool. Which also, before I ask you your last question, something that I'm really excited about. Um, you guys know I'm like async's biggest cheerleader, and I always say that because I just love them. But anyways, I am at the start of these streams gonna start showing some async works that are like auctioning that week from different
Mm.
artists, probably just like 5 minutes, but like talk about a few pieces. So I'll start that next week. And something else I'm starting hopefully next week if I have the time to do before it, just so you guys are prepared. Or you can tell me no, don't do it, Josie, and change my mind. But I think I'm gonna start moving these streams to straight to YouTube instead of Twitch first, for a few different reasons. But just so you guys know, async art at the beginning of streams and probably moving to YouTube, but we'll see. But anyways,
But Twitch is so fun,
I
right?
know. Well,
Like you get
YouTube
to
you
be
can still
a
interact
Twitcher.
too. Um,
True.
the reason why I think that I'm gonna move to YouTube is I really want to get better data on like how many watches and stuff I'm getting, and sometimes I'll get 250 watches on Twitch, and then the video deletes after 2 weeks, and then I'll only have like 30 watches on YouTube, and then it looks like not
Yeah.
many people have seen it. So I just want all the data in one place.
No,
If
I,
Twitch
I
never
I feel you
deleted
on
your
that one.
videos, I'd keep it, but they delete
Yeah.
them, which is so weird.
Yeah, I've found that too. It's like it's definitely good for marbles and the shit that you don't want to archive really, but like I agree if you want to have the the buttoned up version for the archives, YouTube probably just makes the most
Yeah, and
sense.
they'll still be YouTube lives, so like people will still be able to chat and do the same thing that we do here, just on a different platform. Um, okay, so last question: what is one NFT? If you could get any NFT you ever wanted for free, which one would it be? It could be land, it could be art, it could be literally anything. Could be a
Um,
Pepe.
the if I have to be completely honest, I think it'd be the HAL one that you did
No way.
recently. Well, does the NFT come with the painting, or how did that work?
So I did. So anytime I do a physical painting, number zero NFT always is automatically given to the owner who buys the painting. And then I did an edition of 21 for Hal. So there are
Well,
21 of them.
that's the one.
Cool. Thank you.
Because
That's
I about like sold like Bitcoin to try to bid on it, and I probably would have if I knew it was going to go that low.
yeah. I was
But
surprised about that one, but that's all right. I'm
because
really happy
then
with the collector it went
your
to.
NFT, the other NFT that you did, sold for more than your painting, right?
Yeah, that one sold for a little under
Which that
17
was super dope, by the way.
17K. Yeah, that one I mean I loved it, but I was shocked, but also at the same time, looking back on it, Nifty Gateway doesn't necessarily have the biggest Bitcoin crowd, at least compared to like what the Ethereum crowd is there.
Yeah,
So I
that's what
get it.
shocked me about the whole space is that like I'm not trying to say that like Bitcoin art is not appreciated in the space, but it seems like people don't like give a shit about Bitcoin in the NFT space for the
My
most part.
Ethereum based, like Ethereum and metaverse pieces tend, I mean, I'm really fortunate and lucky I have collectors that tend to sell everything, but like the originals themselves
Mhm.
tend to sell faster. Not that, I mean, I'm in no rush to sell any of my originals. To be honest, I wish I still had kept some of my early ones. But yeah, the Ethereum and Metaverse ones tend to go faster. But it's interesting. It would never stop me from doing Bitcoin art though. And like you said, they both there's room for both, and they both have their purpose. And I absolutely, I mean, I wouldn't trade the community experience I've had with Ethereum and the people here for anything. Like it's so amazing.
Oh
It's
yeah,
so fucking cool. So yeah.
yeah. I try not to be the toxic maximalist. You know, like I definitely have nothing against Ethereum. Obviously, I love the space.
Yeah. No. Same.
I made a Yam NFT one time. Like,
Did you? Wait, I think I just saw that on Super Rare when I was scrolling.
is it?
Um,
Yeah, but yeah, nothing against Ethereum for sure.
cool.
I just can't wait until like we get down to the real chain.
Yeah, no, it'll be cool once to see both happening like that again. Um, oh, and sorry. Also, a huge thank you for saying that that's the piece you would want. That's a huge compliment. I really appreciate it.
I mean, when I saw it, I was like, "Fuck!" I got a print.
Yeah, it shipped recently, so it should be
I'm
at
so pumped. It's gonna
your door
come.
pretty soon.
Yeah, it's gonna come here. I'm gonna
Sweet.
probably gonna be over there, like on the backdrop of the stage for the what do you call it? Our streams.
Cool. And it has AR, so make sure to scan it too.
Oh my, that'd
You'll
be
see it
sweet.
move.
That'd be sweet if we could activate it while we were like in front of it.
Oh yeah. Like while you stream.
Yeah,
I don't
dope.
know how, but that'd be pretty cool. Um, oh, and sorry, Bitcoin Monopoly. Sorry if I was confusing you. Number zero, there's 21 HAL NFTs total, but I always release a number zero. And am I cutting out or can you hear me?
We knew you.
Okay,
I
cool.
can.
And number zero goes to the owner of the original painting, because typically all my pieces have the painting with it. And then 1 through 21 are sold to the public through my newsletter or Discord, reservation style first. So I release everything there before I release it on Twitter. Um, but yeah, cool. I don't think there's any other questions in the chat. This was super awesome. The video is frozen, and I have a really funny face in the frozen, so it's kind of funny. I look like I'm drunk or high or something. Anyways, you look good. You look like you're like thinking intensely on this frozen video, Tommy.
It's good.
Um, anyways, this was a really awesome stream, and sorry, my cats are making noise in the background right now. But I'm just super happy to connect with you on here and see your face again. I mean, we saw each other last time at the conference, and then I came on um, your stream with Bitcoin Magazine, which was cool, and I can't wait for Bitcoin 2021. That's just going to be epic, and I'm glad that we kind of put it out on here so it can be on everyone's radar, um, for next year, which is coming up right around the corner. I cannot believe 2020 is like over. I guess
Yeah,
it's kind of a
and
good
I
thing.
gotta give a plug and say that
Yeah,
if you plan on attending, go ahead and get your ticket early. They're 199 right now. It's like the cheapest crypto Bitcoin conference like out there, and it's also the biggest, and it's gonna be the dopest. Tony Hawk is gonna be there. Nick
cool.
Szabo is gonna be there. The Bitcoin Art Gallery is gonna have like 50 top artists, including you and me and Coldy Kate's. I didn't ask him to be there, but I think he needs to be there
He'll be
if
there.
he's still watching this. But yeah, it's going to be the dopest conference ever to happen with Bitcoin. So definitely get your ticket early so that the price doesn't increase on you, because it will go up. Also, check out bitcoinblackfriday.com. Mark your calendars for that, November 27th.
And
What other
Bitcoin marbles.
plugs do
People
I
are
got?
already saying in the chat that they're going to be at Bitcoin marbles.
Yeah, definitely. Just watch my Twitter, and if I say we're going live on Twitch, get on there and become a marble and roll down the track, and we'll send you some Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
yeah,
Cool.
thank you so much for having me. Like it's an honor to be among the like Fuocious last week. Like now I'm here. Like it's insane.
Dude,
Appreciate it.
thank you. Thanks for coming on and making the time. This is always fun. And I mean, it's a
It
blast
makes
getting
me
to know
want to do one
everyone.
of these too
You
for Bitcoin
should.
Magazine. I've wanted to do it for a while and just never really got around to formalizing it. But
Yeah,
like, you know, it might happen,
that'd
and
be
you're gonna
cool.
have to be a guest for sure.
I would love to. All right, awesome. Next week we have Carlos on the show, and then we'll also start the async intros, which I'm super excited about. And soon Tommy will be a part of those async intros once you put
Gonna
your
have
piece
to.
up there. So I'm excited. And then, yeah, keep a lookout. I might start doing these on YouTube, but we'll see if I can get it set up by next week. Thank you all for tuning in and being super active in the chat per usual. I really, really appreciate it. And also, one other thing, I have a really cool piece that I got a double from, that I bought a double from Easy and Crypto, that I'm going to give away on my Twitter soon. So keep an eye out for that. But you had to watch the streams in order to win. So you guys are already in the pool. And I'm going to ask you guys some weird questions to get it. So catch up on your old episodes if you haven't. Um, Anyways, this was awesome. Thank you so much, Tommy. And thank you, everyone else, for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.
Appreciate it.
All right.